Living the truth and the way of Jesus should cause us to live our lives differently from anyone and everyone else in the world. As followers of Jesus, we're supposed to view our circumstances in this world entirely differently. And by way of that perspective, God is in the process of entirely changing the circumstances of this world. So here's the call for us today. We get to be in this world. We're all here. But we do not need to live according to that world's standards, this world's standards. We get to live by God's perspective, and as we do, we're going to engage the world completely differently. And as we engage the world completely differently, that is our witness. People will notice that we handle things differently. Now, we get to acknowledge that we are regularly drawn into the immediacy of this world. And we are regularly challenged, even by people we love and care for, even by fellow Christians, to measure our lives and our success and our fruits by the world's measures. That's not what we're called to do. And Jesus understood this temptation himself. Imagine the scene in the Garden of Gethsemane. And what does Jesus say as he's praying? Lord, take this cup from me, is what he asks for. And then he says, not my will, but your will. He's like, I acknowledge that the human in me is very well aware of the temptation of measuring by the world's standards, and I would love for you to change this circumstance. But I realize that in your perspective, there's something else going on here, and I get to hold this cup a little bit longer. And when we read Scripture, we see time and time again the promise of God who says, listen, trust in me, and this works. Does it work out for you right here, right now? Maybe not. But it does work for what's happening in this eternal view. And when we are thinking from an eternal perspective, that changes everything. We get to make the intentional choice in every one of our circumstances to decide how are we going to view these things that come into our lives. And if we're going to look at them as burdens and walk around with them in such a way that it's incredibly annoying to people who watch you carrying it for the last 30 minutes, well, then that's how you're going to live your life. But if you stop and say, you know what, God gave this to me for a reason. Maybe there's something in this that will refresh and renew me. That was nice. Now I don't need to carry it anymore.